My name is Dr. Holly Lewis, and today I want to talk to you about using Turnitin and Draft Coach. Turnitin is Nightingale College's plagiarism software that we use in conjunction with Canvas, which is our learning management system that we use here at Nightingale College. So when you have an assignment that you turn in, something like a paper, midterm assignment, and Hallmark assignment, once you upload it into Canvas, Turnitin will assess it for plagiarism. All right, it assesses it in lots of different areas. But I want to talk to you about how you can look at it and you can assess it, and then how, of course, you can do it, assess your own prior to even handing in it. So first, let's talk about assessing your assignment once it's turned into Canvas. All right, when your assignment is turned into Canvas and you go into the gradebook, after it, sometimes it can take, if it's a big assignment, it could take a couple hours for the score to come through. All right. But it can take up to 15 minutes. So it really depends. Just don't be too concerned if it's not immediate. But it will assign you a score. And if you go into your gradebook and go in and look above your rubric on the right-hand side, you will see a score assigned to you. In this case, we're talking about 34%. I will tell you that anything 25% or higher, we are definitely going to look at. All right. We don't want a Turnitin score of higher than 24%. So if we click on this, if you click on this, it will come up with a detailed assessment about that percentage. And you can see here the breakdown of all, and it's saying that there's all these similarities. Now, that's not necessarily worrisome. We are doing the same assignments often semester after semester. You're using all the same criteria as everyone else in your class. You're using the same headings, the same references, your ebooks. So there's going to be similarities. The first thing we're going to want to do when we're assessing this to get a better, accurate picture, we're going to go to this cog at the top. This is your settings. If you click on it, this will open up. The first thing that most professors do is click to exclude the bibliography or the references, the quotes, and the citations, because those are things that we require from you and we ask you to do. So we get rid of those and we say done. All right. Once I have excluded those, you will most likely see a drastic reduction in your similarity scores. All right. That's generally what we see. If you do not see a reduction in those scores, then it is probable you have not paraphrased well enough or not, or missed some in-text citations. All right. So you really have to be careful about that. So that is one way you can assess it. Once it's turned in, you can see what the score is. Now, let's say I don't want to submit it and then figure it out. Some of the courses you can only upload your assignment once, and some of them you can upload them as many times as you want to. Let's say you get a high score and then you realize, oh, I didn't paraphrase that whole section. And then you fix it and you re-upload it. We will grade your current submission as long as it was submitted prior to the due date. All right. So that's how you would interpret your turned it in score. All right. Now, there is a way that you can check your work prior to even handing it in. Nightingale College provides your own version of Turned It In, and it's called Draft Coach, and every learner has this available to them. So what you're going to do, the first thing you're going to do when using Draft Coach is you have to upload. It's an add-on to your Microsoft Word. All right. So let me show you how to do that. All right. So this is how I get to my web version of Microsoft Word. This is how you will use Draft Coach. It does not work on your desktop version. It has to be your web version, and you have to be signed in under your Nightingale account because this is something that's provided to you from Nightingale College. So make sure you're in your Nightingale account, signing into your web version of Microsoft Word. So here's my web version. And as you can see, I already have turned it in up here, and I have it twice because I uploaded it twice. You don't need to do it twice, and twice is certainly not better than once in this case. So just so you're aware, no need to do that. But this is how you're going to use it. The first time you're going to go into your add-ins here, and those are my add-ins already. I'm going to look, I can add any of these that, well, not any of them. Some of them you're going to have to pay for, but Draft Coach you can use. So you'll add that in. And once you do, you have to accept the user agreement. You have to accept the consent, those types of things. And then it will show up as a tab in your web version of Microsoft Word. So if I click on it, you can see Draft Coach drops down. Don't try to say that very fast. And if I click on it, I have to be logged in. I can assess whatever work I want. So I'm going to paste something that I wrote for the Writing Center about the most used journals for nurses in the Nightingale Library. When you look up peer-reviewed journals, you have to pick your journal. I have them listed right here. I prefer Google Scholar. If you look at my other video about how to find peer-reviewed sources, I explain why and how I feel like it's very user-friendly for a few different reasons, but I digress. So I'm going to run my similarity check on this work. I can run it up to 3 times on the same work. And it has to be at least 20 words, all right? So when I run it, it's thinking about it now. It's going to come up with the score in a minute. Let's see what it says. All right, 51%. That's not what we want to see, right? We certainly wouldn't want to hand it in like that, right? But first we have to see a better picture, a more accurate picture. So let's go into our full report. And when you go in here, this is exactly like what you will see in your Turnitin from Canvas. So this is the exact same thing. It's giving me the details and it's giving me all the similarities. So the first thing I'm going to do is go up here to the settings and get rid of my references, my quotes, and my citations. When I do that, my score goes down to 29%. Still high. Huh, let's look. Let's look at why it's high. So things like this where it highlights, that's the name of the database. So we could exclude this. All right, let's see. And here, this is also the name. So as you can see, as I'm excluding things, my score is going down and down. Now this score is still on the higher side. The reason is that there's really not a ton of content on this, right? I have basically a quick introduction, and then I have a list of the journals that we commonly use. So that's really all the more work you have, usually the lower the score, depending on um, how you paraphrased and cited your information. If you're doing bullet points and things like that, usually Turnitin is not happy, or Draft Coach is not happy with that. All right, so I'm happy with that. That'll work, right? So then let's say I want to go back here, and you can see everything that's highlighted even without me excluding things. Let's say I want to see my citation. I want to do a citation check. So I'm going to run that. Oh, and it says, great work. Each of my citations appear to have matching references in my reference list. So um, that's a wonderful thing it does. It will match up your references to your citations. Sometimes it gets them wrong. So you do have to look if it tells you you're missing one, just double check and make sure you have it. All right, and let's see, grammar. It will also run a grammar check. So this is like something that maybe Grammarly would do for you, but you don't have to go through Grammarly. You can go through Draft Coach. There's something nice that Draft Coach does that the free version of Grammarly doesn't do. Now, it says there's 6 issues. It certainly does not like when you don't do complete sentences and you just kind of do bullet points or quick bursts of information. So it's not happy about some of this. But my writing itself, it didn't highlight. Um, but let's say I want to know how I can fix it. It will give me options and help me figure out how to fix the issue. So I have a choice in how I fix it, which is very different than Grammarly. Grammarly just tells you, hey, you should say it like this. So what happens if you just take the AI's version of how you should say it is you kind of lose your voice of your writing. And we don't want to do that. We want to keep within our own writing style so it's nice and cohesive, right? So this is the nice thing about Draft Coach where it gives you options and you can pick your option so that it still stays within your voice. All right. So this is how you use it. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out to your professor, or the Writing Center is a wonderful resource to use. All right. Thank you.